Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the last day of March and our March edition of our Double Take webinar series. We have a really exciting one for y'all today, so super excited to show y'all all the latest and greatest that we've been working on over the last month. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and get things started. I'm going to share my screen and walk through all of the latest updates that we've made to Double this month. Okay, so we're going to actually start not in Double. And that is because the first update that I'm excited to show you all today is Double's MCP server. So for those of you who have not played around with MCP servers, essentially what these are is it's a way of bringing the API of a product into your ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. So basically it's a way to do stuff in our case in Double, but through the chat, through your chatbot, through your AI. This is really helpful because it can allow you to sort of thread contexts between things. It also will allow you to access your data and query it or add data to it on the go. So for those of you who have been begging and pleading for a mobile app, I would encourage you to try out Double's MCP server and see if it maybe does some part of what you're looking for here. Okay, so I want to start briefly on how to set up the Double MCP server. It's all right if you don't follow along. You can just search for our MCP server in our Help Center, and we have a whole article on this as well. And the one thing I want to mention is since this is so new, you actually have to set Double's MCP server up as a custom connection. And in the next probably week or 2 weeks, that should be listed live in both the Claude and ChatGPT sort of web stores. You can just natively click it. But it's really easy to set up a connection. You just go to Customize, Connectors, and then Add Custom Connector like this. I'll show the flow for ChatGPT as well. And then you can just name it Double. And then you just take this link here, api.doublehq.com/MCP, and paste it in there. And that will let you add your custom connector. That's for Claude. OpenAI is a very similar process. You go to your workspace settings. You go to settings and then apps. And then you may need to turn on developer mode, but advanced settings here. So you turn on developer mode, and then that will let you click add more. Whoops. And there should be create app right here. And then again, same thing here. You just type in Double and then paste in the link right here. Okay, so admin out of the way, let's talk about some things you can do here. One of the most exciting things for me is this lets you just create a task on the go wherever you want. So if you wanted to say something like create a new task in Double, in Democo, in reminding me, excuse me, if I could type, to file update amended form 941s. Due this Friday and assigned to me. So you can just type this in here, and assuming you have the MCP server, your AI of choice. In this case, I'm using Claude. We're pretty standardized on the Claude stack internally here, so that's the MCP server I'm using. But it'll work the same in both Claude and ChatGPT. And it will look up the client. So it'll look up Democo, we'll find Democo, then it will look up my user ID for creating the task. So it's got my client ID, my user ID, it knows when Friday is. And then one thing you're going to see as you start using MCP servers is this permissioning. So basically, this is you saying whether you want to always be in control in terms of step-by-step approving things, or whether there's certain tasks where you want to just let the AI do its thing. Generally, I would say all read actions, so anything that's like look up the client ID, look up the user ID, those are what are called non-destructive, and so you can allow all for those all the time. And then anything that I would say create, like is creating a new thing, that's also typically fine to always allow. The ones where you want to be careful about it are deleting. So those I typically will say allow once. But in any case, we're going to allow this, and then it will continue to proceed. And we've got that task here. We'll even give us a link. So we can go ahead and click that link. And that will take us hopefully directly to this task here in DemoCo. We've got that here. It's due on Friday. It is assigned to me. So everything I wanted, everything I asked for. But we can also leave a comment. So let's leave a comment. Say hi to the Double Take webinar. And it should be able to do that too. Now we can see we've got that new say hi to the Double Take webinar comment added. And then last but not least, let's also say, please show me the list of all tasks assigned to me that are due today or overdue. And let's go with that. And again, it will sort of go through these tool calls to find what it needs to get. It's got a list tasks option. It sees most of my tasks are completed, go me, I've done my work, but now it's got to filter things down for just not started, with stuck or waiting on client. All right, so it looks like I've got 13 tasks. Let's see how it breaks it up. Again, it's giving me the client, it's giving me the task, it's giving me the high priority tasks listed on top, broken down by status. And I didn't ask it to do anything. This is the aesthetic taste of Claude. And you can see everything I need to do here. Again, all of these links are clickable, so I can use this as a really easy way to interface with my double data. All right, well, that's a sort of quick tour of what we've got in the double MCP server today, but we are continuing to invest aggressively in adding more and more capabilities to the double MCP server over the coming months. The goal is, if you wanted to, you could sort of drive your entire practice, drive all the things you want to do in double directly from your MCP server. So if you have things flowing in from other systems, you can have those connected into your AI of choice, and then sort of the stream can flow into to Claude or to OpenAI, and then OpenAI can act in double as appropriate, and vice versa. OpenAI can see things that are in double and then take action as well. All right, now we'll go ahead and take some Q&A on that before we move on to the next section. Okay, an anonymous attendee asked, are Chat GPT and Claude the only options for using the MCP server? What about Perplexity? So I personally don't use Perplexity, but anything that uses that allows you to connect to an MCP server, this should work with. So theoretically, if you have another random custom app that supports connecting in MCPs, that works as well. Literally, the only thing you need is this server URL. So you just go here from the Help Center, and then you can paste that in wherever MCPs are accepted. Okay, Ellie asked, will the MCP server work with free versions of Claude and ChatGPT? I actually don't know. This is a good question. We can ask Claude, do the free versions of Claude and ChatGPT support MCP servers? So we're finding out together live. While we've got that, Taylor asked, are MCP servers available for Gemini? I actually don't know the answer to this. But again, same as what I mentioned with Perplexity. If you have a place to put an MCP server link, then it will work on whatever AI you choose. Essentially, the way to think about this is an MCP server is like a sort of list of things you can do with an app with AI. So any AI that accepts that list can work with an MCP server. Okay, looks like Claude does have MCP servers on the free plan, but ChatGPT does not. Okay, so that's your answer. Claude, yes. ChatGPT, no. Let's ask, what about Gemini? Okay, an anonymous attendee asked, will it work in Copilot? I am going to spare y'all asking every single one of these questions to the AI, but suffice it to say, if the thing accepts MCP servers, then it will work with Double's MCP server. If not, then you will need to use a different AI. Okay, Taylor asked, do you speak to the security of these MCP servers? For example, some versions of AI are not private. So basically, all of your like permissioning and settings around whatever AI you're choosing are going to be like respected in the MCP server. The MCP server is literally just an API. So you could do all the same things that you're doing in Double's MCP server, if you went to api.doublehq.com. So this is literally just a list of all the things you can do programmatically with a computer in Double. And the MCP server is just making this more accessible to an AI. So that's the sort of right way to think about it. As a result, anything that you trust in an AI, you can trust with this data. Anything that you don't trust with an AI, again, if you're broadening the surface area, that's going to be the same problem. But you can, for those of you who are concerned, you can and honestly probably should opt out of training, having your responses being included in the training set with both Claude and ChatGPT. An anonymous attendee asked, can any user link an AI chat to Double, and can we prevent that if we don't want them to? Fundamentally, yes. So the MCP server will follow the same permissions that user has in the app. So if the user can only see a certain set of tasks, then their MCP will only be able to see that same set of tasks. If they can only go to a certain set of clients, they'll, again, only see those clients in their results. So all of that sort of permissioning will cascade from the permission set in the app. But there's no way to sort of turn off MCP access inside of Double entirely. Okay, Jen asked, I'm assuming you need a subscription to Claude. So as mentioned earlier, this will work with both ChatGPT and Claude. It looks like Claude's free plan also does support MCP servers. Okay. Deanna asked if we have a team ChatGPT, would the admin need to add the app, and then will it be available for the whole team? I'm not sure actually how ChatGPT's permissions work. The way that it works in Claude is basically you as an administrator say everyone can have access to this app, but then they still need to connect it for their individual accounts. And that sort of allows the AI to respect the permissioning model that's built directly into the application. So again, if you have a standard user and you only want them to be able to see the list of clients they have access to, then the sort of delegated permissioning and access model allows for that. Okay. I saw a couple of questions about what does the MCP server support? Great question. You can find this in our help center, this Double MCP server article. We have a list of all the tools. There's read-only tools and write tools. This list, as I mentioned earlier, is going to continue to grow over time. So there will be a lot more capabilities coming into the tool over the coming weeks and months. One other anonymous attendee asked, can this create a list of open comments to send to staff or the client? So comments are not currently supported in the reading tools, but we could definitely add support for that. Emily asked, will this allow AI to work inside or alongside Double emails? Definitely over time, we want to add support for Double emails into here as well. An anonymous attendee asked, will the data pulled through the MCP servers be used to train the model unless the enterprise version of Claude and ChatGPT is used? So as a general rule, all of these AIs give you the ability to opt out of your training. I think in Claude, it's called it's called something like improve Claude. Use Claude to feel free to Google for this one, but you can disable the ability to have your responses the responses used in training subsequent model updates. Okay. The next question from chat, can the MCP service surface client notes and properties? Not yet, but definitely coming soon. I will make a note to send that to the team. Okay. An anonymous attendee asked, can you have it mark tasks as complete? The answer is yes. In fact, go back to Claude and have Claude mark that task that we just created as complete. Mark that file amended 941's task as complete.
I think you may want to know too if you can do it in bulk for like all of your closing tasks for a certain close page.
You can. So basically, the AI can know to sort of like loop through all of these tasks. And so again, there you have the choice to always allow something or allow it once. And so now we can see it's marked that 941's task as complete. Refresh our page here. We can see it's marked that as complete. Emmeline asked, can you ask it to give you a summary of all the things that a certain staff member is assigned to do? You can. I think I showed that earlier. So this is like, please show me a list of all the things that are due today overdue. The short answer is yes. You can absolutely have it do that. The anonymous attendee asked, does it override the 100 task limit? I assume this attendee is asking about the ability to bulk edit tasks on the task list. Yes, theoretically, this can keep going indefinitely. It can edit every task if you'd like it to. An anonymous attendee asked, is there a limit of how many questions or tasks you can ask Claude to do for you? So generally speaking, this depends on your overall limits within your like Claude or ChatGPT account. So if you use the chat enough, you may get throttled. They have session level and usage level limits. I haven't hit limits with the with Double's MCP server, but if you're using it pretty aggressively, it can definitely bump up against those limits. But I would say that would be a good problem to have if you find yourself in that situation. Chet front ran the last part of the feature that I was going to talk about, which is can we see which tasks were created or modified via MCP within Double for accountability? The answer is yes, you can. So inside of your activity log, you'll see any tasks that were taken or that were created from the MCP server or updated from the MCP server. Will have this via MCP moniker next to it. So you can always see what the AI is doing on your behalf. Okay. An anonymous attendee asked, are there security concerns with using AI to share meeting details, etc.? I would say this is more about do you trust the software provider and less about is AI specifically a concern. Like I would say if you are using a reputable call recorder, like a Ping or an Abacore, or a like a Fathom, there's or Granola, like there's a lot of good options. And if you're using a good reputable app provider, then you likely don't need to be too concerned about the AI piece to that. Erica asked, so this probably cannot affect transactions that pull in from the accounting software. Is that correct? Today, that is correct. But long term, we do actually want to enable the MCP server to connect to and update trends. And so another anonymous attendee asked, can we use ChatGPT to pull all 29s from clients? Right now, you can't, but long term, this is definitely something we want to support as well. And Courtney asked, can you have this change file names or search for files? Also no today. But once again, this is the sort of initial list I wanted to make available to folks. And any additional things you'd like to see added in, please write them into us. Let us know. Jump in our canny. Tell us this is what you want added to the MCP server. Because this is definitely something that we want to make sure we continue to broadly support. We're big believers that these AI tools can change the way you work, and we want to make sure that you are able to do that if you choose Double as your main closure practice management system. Okay. Jamie asked, is there a way to differentiate between the primary client user used for W9s, the others for the same client? I'm not sure I'm totally following. Maybe this is the contact. Like the different contacts here. If that's the case, the best way we recommend, if you want to have like one contact that's distinguished from the others, is making them the client admin, and then you can access that in. I believe you can access that in Double's MCP server, but if not, we're working on adding. It looks like not, but we're working on adding contact information in the server as well. Dave asked, or I guess observed, that we don't have time tracking here. Yes, we're going to add time tracking. We're going to add lots of these things. Basically, the entire MCP server build came together in about the last week and a half. So we wanted to make sure that you have basic task management and commenting capabilities, and then we will continue to expand that surface server. Okay, Alicia asked, I'm adding the MCP server to ChatGPT, but Chat is telling me that developer mode, to add developer mode, but that has an elevated risk warning that says use at your own risk. We'll show everyone this so that you have the context here on what to expect. Okay, so if you turn on this developer mode, you'll see this is elevated risk. Basically, this is like anyone could send you a link and say, start using this link. And so that's like, there's more room to open up the doors to malware. There's more room to open up the doors to like scamming. So basically, I would not recommend using developer mode other than to create the Double MCP server. And again, it's sharp knives. So if you learn what to do with them, and you're careful, like this is not an inherent problem. It's just a risk. Sort of takes a couple of the bumpers off of the bowling lane. Um, but that is soon we should have these published both in the main ChatGPT and Claude sort of app stores where you can download them directly and you don't need to enable developer mode like this. Okay, well, we finally got through the MCP servers. So thank you all for your great and thoughtful questions and for your feedback on how we can continue to improve this. Now I'm going to move to another part of the app and talk about some more improvements we made over the last month. Okay. Next, I'm actually going to start in this file. Canadians, I am sorry if you have felt left out in the cold for the last many months since between when we had receipts and when we added this feature. We are adding more and more support to improve the Canadian tax treatment capabilities within double receipts. And most notably this month, we added the ability to opt to have your receipts processed as tax inclusive instead of tax exclusive. All right. Additional updates in your AI transactions. If you have multiple files attached to a single file, so if you wanted to sort of merge these two files together, and then use AI transactions on them. AI transactions will now support multiple files, reading and then turning that into a journal entry. Okay, another long awaited change for many folks here. We finally updated account reconciliations. So now if you update an account name in the chart of accounts in QuickBooks, that will automatically flow through and update the name of the task in Double. So I know that's been a point of frustration for many folks for many years, but happy to finally address that. Okay, next in doubles accruals, we added the ability to have an actual days method of accruals. So here, if you're creating let's say you're creating a 12-month software license, you can have actual days as the convention, and then that will take the actual number of days from the recognition start date and use that for the first month, and then use the remaining amount for the last month. So sort of similar to a half-month convention or mid-month convention, but we'll use the actual days from purchase. Okay, next is a couple of improvements in communications. First is in your vendor requests. We have now modernized the UI for your vendor request screen, so hopefully this will feel like a more professional, more user-friendly version of your links that you're using to send out for W-9 requests to new vendors. And then this link should also be more performant, so it should load faster, more reliably. Yeah, that's the latest update for vendor requests. And then last but certainly not least is in your client communication. If your clients ask a question of you, you can now click Add Task to add a task from that question. So let's say in this case, our clients request requests and financials. They need them to apply for a bank loan. We can click Add Task here and then say Send Client Financials. We can make this due today. We can assign it to ourselves. We can make it high priority. And then we can save this task. And then you'll see there's a task linked here. And then if we go back here, we can also see we've got that client financial here. And then just like with an email, the client message is linked right here as well. Okay, Brittany asked, so those are the updates for the close page this month. Brittany asked, can you show how you got to the vendor requests once more? Absolutely. There's a few places to get to it from there. If you're at the top of the screen, you should see this vendor request tile over on the right. From here, this will show you all of the outstanding vendor requests that you have sent, if you sent them to a single vendor. If you want to initiate a new request, you can do that by clicking Add Request here. Here you can pick the vendor and send it out that way. Of course, once you have their email. And then in your W-9 requests, this one is what we call your static vendor request links. This is actually directly associated with this client demo co. So you can tell your clients to send out this W-9 link anywhere. And then once a vendor fills that out, it will automatically email you and automatically email the vendor, and that way, or sorry, your client, and that way your client can know, oh, okay, this person's uploaded their W-9, we're cleared to pay this invoice. In addition to that, you can also, in your Prepare 99s report, you can from here add the ability to ask a vendor request right from here. Okay, Erica asked the ability to add a checklist to a task via email / questions from client on the roadmap. It is not currently, but I can definitely add I can definitely talk to the product team. Okay, Des says, when we add a task to the portal, can the client see that like we did in the communication? It looks like the client, when we tested this, it looked like the client actually could see that task. I don't believe so, but we will independently confirm together. I'll refresh the page here. Yeah, so they don't see that. So here they only see their own task, but over on the double side of things, we've got our task, so that's only visible to us. Maybe we should make that a little bit more prominent. So I'll let our product team know about that. Okay. Some questions here that I will come back to. I want to make sure that I get through the main product updates. So we'll come back to those in a moment. Okay, next update is in your AI reconciliations in Double. So for those of you who have not seen this before or have do not have the Chrome extension, if you have the Chrome extension, you'll see these purple buttons start to show up all over the place. I would say this is probably my personal favorite feature. It is my personal biggest time saver with Double's Chrome extension, and that is this Analyze Difference button. So what this will do is it will review all of the data that's in your ledger, all the transactions that are cleared and not cleared. It will allow you to upload a bank statement to see what are all the transactions that make up the balance in the bank statement. And then it will use AI to analyze that, find which transactions are causing the difference between the bank statement and the ledger. And so the new update here is we added this Save Analysis to Task button. And if you do that, you can save this to the task that you were working on. And that way you can, if you want to go back to Double, too many things open. If you're back in Double, you can see that comment as here as well. So if you're a reviewer, you can go and look back at that reconciliation analysis at any time. Okay, last couple of updates, and we'll get back to the questions. On your client list, okay, on your client list, we added the quick add menu, so you can now quickly add a task, file upload, or note directly from the client list without needing to go directly into a single client. You can also, of course, still both start closes and tax returns via this button here as well. Okay, and then on your task list, a couple of nice updates here as well. First is we have finally now added the ability to bulk update due dates from the task list. So you can only update closing tasks and custom tasks at the same at once. So you can't update, closing tasks and custom tasks, and that's because the sort of actual way that these tasks recur is different. But you can see here, you can now finally bulk update your due dates. And then next is you can also access even more information on the task list. So for example, if you wanted to pull on client properties or your close or tax rules, you can do that here as well. And then that will show up here on the right. So for example, if you wanted to only review for all the tasks that are high priority and assigned to in your gold service tier, you can now build that as a saved filtered view. All right, down to just the last couple of updates here, and then we'll open it back up to questions. On your tax suite, a couple of updates here. First is in your tax returns, you can finally now also pull on your tax task sections. So here you can see the individual sections in your tax returns and the status of each of the tasks within them. And then second, on your e-signatures, you can also now you also now get an e-signature page at the bottom of the signed document that has an audit trail of the signature activities. So here just to show recently signed document. You can see that at the bottom, you'll get this e-signature audit trail that will show the documents, who it was sent by, and then the history of the signatures. Okay, last but not least, we have a few improvements to our Zapier. So I won't be showing those here, but we'll just list them off in case you've been waiting for them. We now added the ability to have a trigger that fires a zap based on if a tax return status is updated. Also now when creating a task, you can add an assignee to that task. We also added a new endpoint that lets you get the client's current preparer, reviewer, and manager. We added a new option when you're creating a client to apply a template and assign a preparer, reviewer, and manager. And we now allow you to assign a contact to multiple clients if they need to access multiple portals. All right. Well, that is it for the standard update. So now we'll go back and tackle some of the open questions that we have. Okay, Beverly asked, is Double going to be available for QuickBooks desktop clients at all? I won't say never, but I will say it's not currently on the roadmap as a subsequent ledger to support. An anonymous attendee asked, the Double extension has been pulling reconciliation dates through as invalid recently. Is this on my radar? It is not on my personal radar, but if this is happening to you, if you have not already done so, please write into the chat to let us know and send us some more details about that, and then we'll take a look. Matthew said, can you set up recurring vendor requests not related to W-9s? Not yet, but we're definitely on the same wavelength here. This is something that we want to support in particular for things like vendor accruals. So if you have like a legal bill that you want to request on the first of every month or the last of the preceding month, that is definitely something we want to support. So I will make a note and talk to the product team about that. Rose asked, is it possible to send an automatic receipt request to a client for transactions processed in the bank feed? Oh, interesting question. Not currently, but definitely can talk to our bank feeds team about that. Okay, Dean asked, I want to create a master vendor list from a dedicated niche. Is it possible to export all vendor details from Double? Not currently, but we could definitely add an option for this. So if you want to reach out to support, they will, and just tell them Ben told you to reach out. I'll see if that's something that we can do on a one-time basis. If you need this as a sort of regular feature, I'll talk to the product team about that. Okay. Brittany asked, are you able to use the AI reconciliation tool if the bank is not linked in Double? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The AI Fix This Rec tool does work regardless of whether the bank is linked to the bank feeds at Double. The only thing that relies upon is the QuickBooks data, which obviously you have, and the PDF or CSV bank or credit card statement. Jamie asked, on account reconciliations, does it also automatically add tasks for new accounts or just update names? Right now, it just updates names. If you want to review a list of accounts that you want to add as account reconciliations, the PE entity review has a newly added accounts report that's a great fit for that. So we recommend using that as sort of initial guide point for what new account reconciliations do you want to add. Jamie asked, were you able to share views with only specific people or just the whole firm? I assume this is in relation to the task list. Right now, it is the whole firm or private, but shared views is definitely something that would make sense. Okay, Kate asked, can you address any updates with Double's integration with Xero? I don't have any new updates at the moment on our Xero integration. Thank you to, I guess, I'll give one minor shout out. Thank you to Judah for putting us in touch with maybe someone who cares at Xero. So hopefully we can improve the Double integration with Xero. We absolutely want to. We want to continue bringing all these great updates that we're making in other ledgers to Xero. So, but no new updates I can share on product functionality at the moment. Mary asked, are you aware that the login button is dysfunctioning? It only works when you click on the left side to log in. I am not aware of this, but if you wouldn't mind writing into the chat, we'll take a look. An anonymous attendee asked, right now I find the analytics tab in Double quite confusing. Do you foresee Claude being able to assist with that? For example, asking Claude for that data versus building out charts in Double. Maybe it could build charts for us, talking out loud. Great question. I actually see this as converging in both ways. So first is us bringing AI more into the product, so that you could use, instead of Double analytics, needing to like create a pivot table manually, you could say, here's the type of report I want to create, and it could create that for you. And then similarly, also being able to pull more of that data into Claude will allow you to do the data viz in Claude or ChatGPT directly. Brittany asks, is there a separate website to use the AI reconciliation, or do you have to have the Double extension? Right now, you do need to use the Double Chrome extension. Okay. Those are all of the questions in the Q&A. So as is our custom here, we'll go ahead and give people a couple minutes to ask any remaining questions before we wrap things up. Okay, Rose asked, is the Double extension available in Edge? The answer is yes. All Chrome extensions should be compatible in Edge, since Edge is a Chromium-based browser. So you should be able to click the link that my colleague Lauren dropped in the chat, or you can also look for Double's Chrome extension in our Help Center, and that will give you a link to that as well. And then from there, you should be able to install it on Edges. All right. Okay. One more question. Anonymous Cindy asked, are there any thoughts on including voice memos as a part of Double? I will say this has not been on the top of our roadmap, but if you want to add it to Arcani, would love to take a deeper look. If you could just add some more context on why you do this, when you do it, so that we can discuss as a product team, that would be great. All right. Well, folks, thank you all so much for joining us today. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you enjoyed the new features we've got to Double. We have a lot more in the oven coming out in the next couple of months. Appreciate all of your great questions and your great feedback. We will continue to listen to you to guide us on how to make Double even better. So thank you all so much for taking the time. Hope you all have a good rest of your waning March, and I will see you all again right back here this time next month.